I got a problem. I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me. I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed. There's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. I got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to please. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Peace, family. So, like probably most of you, we've gone through periods here in Virginia where we've been getting a whole lot of rain. And these rains have followed really, really high heat. Just hot. You know, the weather's just been really crazy. But I haven't been able to get out here and tend to my lawn. And this is what it's looking like now. You see all of this? These, I guess they're considered weeds with these red stems. They grow up to be these if they're not checked. Some of you probably know what the name of them are. If you do, let me know. Is the garden beds, weeds growing all around it. If you notice, not much in the way of weeds in the garden bed, except for a few that I've pulled and dropped. And I bring it up for a reason. But this is the weed and grass situation going on now because of me not being able to get out here. You know, on days where it wasn't raining, it was blazing hot. And, you know, I haven't really dealt well with the heat lately. And then the rain, of course, that causes everything to just shoot up. So let's look at it from this angle. It's a lot. It's a lot. This is going to be a lot of work. Because this is not the only area that I have to do. There's a lot of other areas on my property that I've got to get to, but this is just where I've been showing. But what do you see when you see this? How does it make you feel? You know, how do you feel when you see it? Like some people may come out here and, you know, they may look at it like it's just a jungle of chaos. You know, some people may be able to kind of look a little close and see some of the beauty that's going on here. Some people, if this was their yards, you know, they probably would go into a panic. So what do you see? You know what I see? Because I don't see chaos and mess and a situation that's out of control. This is very much a situation that I can control. But beyond that, I see food. I see food. 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 I see food. I see an abundance of food. Now, what am I saying? Like, am I saying that this is food for me? Well, in a sense it is. Indirectly it is. But these weeds, this grass, it's full of nutrients. It's full of nitrogen, yes, but it's full of a lot of other nutrients. You know, as you all know, when we make our super juices, we use a lot of these weeds. You know, you got a lot of different things going on here. You got, what are these yellow buttercup looking weeds? The name escapes me, but you got curly dock, you got yellow dock out here. You've got various types of nettles. You've got crabgrass. You've got dandelion. You've got all types, and that's not even including, you know, the other things that we have, such as the comfrey that I've actually purposely been growing here, some around the lavender plant. You got a lot of weeds out here. Food, nutrient dense. I heard a gentleman say that weeds come up because your soil may be lacking certain nutrients, so the weeds come up to correct that. I don't know how true that is, but what I do know is that in the weeds there is a lot of nutrients. That's why we do use it in our super juices. And so I'm one who believes in chopping and dropping, you know, and I believe in feeding your soil. So when I look at this as food for the soil, which in turn is going to feed my plants, and then my plants will feed me. So I look at this, I see mulch, I see compost, you know, I see just nutrient-dense, microbial-rich activity that'll be going on in my ecosystem here. You know, and I know it's risky using this as mulch because I just mulch around. Like if you look at my lavender plant there's wood chips, but on top, if you can tell, that stuff broken down is nothing but weeds and grass. I just put it around. And yeah, you can risk growing weeds and things like that, and I do the same thing in my raised beds. But if you come out here daily, at least once a day, which is what we all should be doing, you know, whether it be in the beginning of the day or the end of the day or even both, when you see those weeds coming up, you pull them and then you drop them. That's more food. That's more chopping and dropping. And it keeps the soil rich. It keeps the weeds from getting out of control. It's very easy to pull the weeds at that stage when you catch them in the beginning. And even in my raised beds, when they do get kind of long, it's still kind of easy to pull them because the soil is so soft and fluffy. It's all food, people. So I'm gonna be mulching around my plants, around my raised beds, and even in my containers where my trees are. Now it's still wet out here and I shouldn't really be using my mower, but I gotta get this done. So I'm gonna raise my mower up, which is probably still not a great idea, but I've gotta get this under control to make it look at least a little bit neater. I'm gonna raise my mower up and then I'm gonna use my bag and then I'm gonna mulch around everything. I'm not gonna have you watch that process, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, I will be back in some hours. Like I said, I don't know what this is, but this is definitely, I'm looking at this, these leaves, these stems, how rich it looks. All of this is getting chopped and dropped. All of it is getting chopped and dropped. Oh yeah. Here we are so far, fam. These little patches here, these are my baby Leland cypress trees. I've got 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3. So I got a space between bush number. They're gonna end up being like that. That's what I am looking for this side, just to have a border. But between this one and this one, there's a nice little gap here. I'm thinking about putting, as opposed to a second Leland cypress bush, I'm thinking about right in between those, putting a maple tree. What do they call it? They call it an autumn flame maple or something like that, one that gets really, really red in the fall. So I'm thinking about putting that in between, but y'all let me know what you think. But I took this pause to show you this little baby praying mantis. I mean, the color is just beautiful up against this Japanese maple here. What's up, little buddy? Yeah. All right, back to work, fam. So this is how we put the grass clippings, grass and weeds, I should actually say, in the bed. Me and camera lady, of course. She doing her thing. But we did it, you know, we put a, not too thick, but a pretty decent layer of grass clippings and just tried not to get it directly onto the base of the plants. And I'm actually gonna water this and then I'm gonna put some wood chips over top and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. All right, so we're not totally finished, but we got a good amount done. But just to kind of show you, you know, again, here's one of the little baby Leland cypress trees that we put some grass cuttings around. It already had some, we just put some more. And there's the other one. Here's my Japanese maple. This one had wood chips around. The grass clippings that was on from the last time around had already broken down. So I just put more just to kind of keep it heavily mulched. And I got to go around it and get, you know, the excess weeds that are growing from around it. Here's the lavender plant that we put some grass clippings on. We'll put it around, along with the comfrey. Now this is the little bush that I talked about quite a few times. I took it out of that, I guess you can call it my little herb bed, and I brought it over here. And initially it was upset. You know, it didn't like being transplanted, and then the sun was kind of hard on it. But this is probably like the third time that I've, you know, kind of heavily mulched with grass clippings and wood chips, and she's bounced back. I mean, she looks really, really pretty. You know, all the leaves that were traumatized are falling off. You can still see some of them on, but she's bounced back. She's definitely looking great. And I have to attribute that to the way that, you know, that I mulched her. I think she loves that. And to take you back over to the bed, this is what, oh, you know what, I don't think I ever mentioned this, but this is my little box that I have corn and navy beans in. Oh yeah, VA got corn too. Yeah. But this is the bed after mulching it with grass clippings and another layer of wood chips. This is what it looks like. Now, as far as the plants are concerned, in this bed, I've got squash, I've got tomatoes, I've got beans, I've got my Jamaican sorrel, I've got onions, I've got garlic. There's not really much in the way of plants or vegetables that don't benefit from nitrogen. You know, and the grass clippings and weed clippings provide nitrogen. It also, along with the wood chips, it's like composting. You know, the wood chips, you know, they act as a compost along with the actual nitrogen. You know, one of the best fertilizers for your plants and for your grass and for your vegetables and fruits is rain. Rain. You know, when you water your grass, you know, it keeps it hydrated. But rainwater, it's almost like giving it a shot of adrenaline. You know, nothing really works as well as rainwater does. The reason is that the rainwater comes up from the earth and through the earth's atmosphere and rains back down on it. And like our sister Letitia said from Barefoot Gardening, you know, rainwater has nitrogen in it. So that's what I'm providing with these, the grass and weed clippings. I'm providing nitrogen. So that's it, family. You know, I just wanted to kind of give you a different perspective. A lot of times we kind of lose track of time, or we get so busy, or weather conditions don't permit us to actually come out and manicure our lawns. But as opposed to getting, you know, overwhelmed and upset about it, and, you know, I just want us to kind of look at it in a different light. You know, it could be used. And again, yeah, of course, you know, you run the risk of having weeds grow. I mean, but it is what it is. Like I said before, I just pull them and just drop those down too. So anyway, I'm not going to keep you. You know, I appreciate you sticking with me through this one. And, you know, if you have any suggestions or any thoughts on this subject, you know, drop them in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.